people, how you looking, how you doing, how you feeling? I'm D and this is 1833 and it's a coffee morning session. I actually nearly finished my coffee this morning, but I am drinking a golden caramel today, and I have in there today Chairman's Reserve from St. Lucia. So I wanted to have a quick chat, quick explanation about rum and ages. So where to start? Aged rum is not like aged wines. When a wine is going through the aging process, when this is barrels aging, when a wine's bottled, the aging process continues. But when it comes to rums, and I think whiskies as well, but definitely rums, once the rum has been bottled, the aging process has stopped. So it's whatever age it is when it's bottled, that's the age it stays at. So if you have a bottle that was, you've got rum that was bottled in 2006, and you haven't opened it yet, it's still a 2006 bottle. It's not. You can't add 20 years to the age. It just is wherever it was back then is what it is today. So that's that. And then one thing you have to contend with when it comes to whiskies, because whiskies are usually made in cooler climates, so whiskies and wines versus rums, that the aging process is not the same either. I think they say that 1 year in a tropical climate is worth like 3 or maybe 5 years in a cooler climate. So 1 year old rum, or anything that's 1 year rum, what have you, in the Caribbean is equivalent to something that was aged 3 to 5 years in like the UK, for example. So there's that as well. So it's not the same. Now, as far as I'm aware, the way the age of a rum is calculated is by a blend. I am not aware of any rum that has been in the barrel for 5 years. Someone taps that barrel, pours or gets a rum and bottles it and sells it and says it's a 5-year rum. My understanding of rums, and I'm happy for someone to correct me if I'm wrong or can add more to it, but my understanding of rums is it's always a blend of. So you have a master blender, he goes around to all these barrels that are sitting around in the distillery, and he says some of that one, some of that, and some of that, and it is blended all together to get a nice flavor profile. And then the age is calculated out of 2 ways. In some places they take the youngest age rum and said, well, that's the age of the rum. And in some places they take the sort of the average age. And they say, right, on average rum is 10 years old, so it's a 10-year-old rum. So there's 2 ways to look at it. I think. I'm not an expert. Guys, I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy who loves rum. So I think it's in Jamaica, maybe Barbados, for example, countries that will have like the youngest age. And I think in like the Americas, South Americas, they take the average age. Happy to be corrected. I could be wrong. If you know more, write in the comments. Cool. Not offended if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're on a journey here. So I wanted to share that. So a couple of things. So age is not the same as Europe versus the Caribbean or any other tropical climates. The aging process is different. It's not the same aging process for rums as it is for wines. So like I said, once it's bottled, it's bottled. Another thing to contend with as well, that people I don't think they really understand is, or fail to appreciate, is rums don't go off. Let's put that straight. But what will happen is, if you've got an open bottle of rum, just like in the distillery process, you'll have a duppy share, you'll have a spirit share, and that's where the heat just evaporates some of the rum. So that happens in all the distillery processes. It's a known thing. That's why we have a rum called duppy share. That's where that name comes from. It's the share that just evaporates. But that evaporation continues once you open a bottle of rum as well. So if you've got a bottle of rum you've opened, and it's been sitting now for a year, 2 years, 3 years, some of that will evaporate. You lose some of that to just the environment. But also what happens is when you've got a bottle of rum that's been open for a year or 2 years, depending on how much rum is in the bottle, and B, how long you've had it for, you will notice that the colour may change and the flavour will change as well. So you may have the same bottle of rum, and over a number of years in time, you maybe grow to appreciate it more, but what's actually happened is that flavor profile has changed slightly. And that's, you could argue that's part of the aging process, because it has aged slightly. Or is maybe just, you could argue it's part of the aging process. Anyway, I need to go, I need to jump in the shower, I need to get ready for this wedding, so lovely speaking to you again. Just wanted to say one last thing, one last thought. Master blender is one of those jobs you're ahead and I think, how do you become one of those guys? What did you do? What did you study? How you just, it's one of those jobs I always think you just kind of fumble into. It's like one of those people you hear who taste chocolates for a living. I'm not a big chocolate fan, but I know for some that's an amazing role. So my question for these sort of just obscure roles is, how do you become one? And what's it like?